Yeah, boss of YouTube, how's it going, everybody? Yes, finally I am back, and oh my lord, it's been like 4 or 5 days since I've actually narrated a battle for you guys, and as many of you should know by now, this is one of the most fun things that I like to do, and it feels great to be back. So if I kind of mess up on the narration, I apologize. I'm gonna just try to get back into the swing of things. Anyways, guys, if we can get this video up to 400 likes, I will definitely make sure to upload another video for you guys tomorrow, and actually maybe even two, because I should have some free time, because me, Mikey, and Nappy all got sick once we came back from PAX, which means I can't work, because you don't want sick people working around food, which means I should have more time to be able to make some more videos for you guys. So yeah, expect 2 uploads tomorrow if we can get this video up to 400 likes. And I do actually have some more battles that I had against people at PAX, which means we had these battles face to face, like 6 inches away from each other. Like this battle's against my boy HaydenMadeEm. I'm gonna leave his channel link down in the description. Make sure to go check him out. Now looking at team preview, I guess you could say this is kind of an OU battle, but we didn't want to bring like too overused OU stuff, so we wanted to bring some more fun stuff. Now looking at Hayden's team going into the battle, the biggest threat I saw was easily gonna be that Polytoad, just because if it is choice specs, it could destroy my entire team, so I really have to watch out for that. So I'm going to be leading off with my Klefki. He's going to be leading off with the Caballo. Now this is not a normal Klefki. This is actually a switcheroo Flame Orb Klefki, and I believe this is actually the first time ever that I used it in a singles battle, and it kind of worked out. Unfortunately though, outside of tricking this Caballo on the Flame Orb, it doesn't really do much of else, but it was actually really nice to finally be able to use this in a singles battle. As I tricked the Flame Orb off, I switched directly into my Garchomp, because he did taunt me my only offensive move is Foul Play on Klefki, so I switched into my Garchomp, predicted him to want to go for a Volt Switch, but actually ends up going for the Thunder Wave, and I'm thinking, okay, I can Mega Evolve, knock him out with the Fire Blast, and then go from there. But no, he lives on like 2% HP, which was a little bit frustrating because he's able to get up his Stealth Rocks, which means now I'm going to be forced to waste a turn going for Defog with my Zapdos later in the battle. So he brings in the Polytoad. The way he brought it in, it had me thinking that maybe he's Scarfed, but either way, I'm pretty positive I don't one-hit KO Polytoad, so I switched directly into my Klefki, because honestly, after switcherooing, it's not really the most helpful team member to me right now. Plus, I'm able to easily live the Ice Beam, which I was kind of expecting him to go for, and thinking that he was choice, I'm just going to stand and I'm going to go for Lair Spikes, just trying to get up those little bit of hazards before I am forced to go for the Defog with my Zapdos, so I can kind of wear down his team a little bit. But it turns out that he's not choiced, and he is most likely Damp Rock, as he just annihilates me with the Hydro Pump. So I switch into my Victini, knowing that I am faster than the Polytoad. I am Life Orb because this is a mixed Victini, so I'm just going to make the safe play, and I'm actually going to end up going for the Bolt Strike, as he makes a very ballsy play by switching into his Heliolisk. He is able to take the Bolt Strike, but either way, that was very ballsy considering that Heliolisk doesn't really have the best defenses around. So I am going to be forced to switch out just because Heliolisk is naturally faster than Victini, so I switch into my Zapdos, hoping that if he did go for the Thunder, I would be able to live the hit, but he actually ended up going for the Surf, which has me thinking maybe he doesn't carry the Surf, which is going to play a role later in the battle. So I'm going to stay in, knowing that I can take another Dark Pulse. I just want to go for the Defog to get rid of the Stealth Rocks, although yes, I will be getting rid of my Lair Spikes. It's still just more beneficial for me to get rid of Stealth Rocks than me have a Lair Spikes up on his team and he have Stealth Rocks up on my side of the field. So he ends up getting 2 flinches in a row with Dark Pulse, which was actually really frustrating. I believe me and him were actually going down the escalators at this point to go to our cab, and I kind of just wanted to push him off just a little bit, but I knew if I did that I would probably go to jail, so I kind of contained myself, and thankfully I am able to roost off the damage as I don't get flinched on the 3rd Dark Pulse, and now I'm in a position where I can go for a Toxic or I can go for the Defog, and my main priority right now is to get rid of these damn Stealth Rocks, which should have had been gone a couple turns ago. But it actually kind of helps me because I'm able to get off that little bit of entry hazard damage, although it doesn't really end up playing a role. It's still just, it's fine, it's not a big deal. So I do get rid of the rocks, and I do get rid of my Lair Spikes, as I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Volt Switch. That is because this is the only offensive move on my Zapdos, because I was kind of debating between Discharge and Volt Switch, and ultimately I decided to go with Volt Switch just because it does give me Switch Initiative, and plus I already have Toxic, so I don't want to paralyze something that I want to get Toxic. So I Volt Switch into my Clefable, and this right here is probably the stalliest and slowest part of the battle. basically what's happening is me trying to use this Tentacruel as setup fodder, because if you notice his team, after about 2 or 3 calm mines, nothing can safely one-hit KO Clefable, which means after I set up, I should be able to hopefully sweep through his team with Clefable. And recently, I have actually really liked Clefable because it's definitely underrated. Also, if you're wondering, the reason why he went for Toxic on Clefable is because Unaware Clefable actually became kind of popular in the Smogon Premier League. So he might have thought that I was unaware and he was going to try to wear me down. But no, I am just the Max Defense, Max HP Magic Guard variant. As I actually end up getting really lucky, and I believe I end up getting 2 special attack drops on his Tentacruel. I was also kind of fearing the fact that he could switch into his Politoed on one of my Moonlights, but then again, I'm a +2 special defense, so anything that his Politoed wanted to go for really wouldn't have done too much damage to my Clefable, and I possibly would have been able to easily 2KO him. So after getting a second special attack drop, he switches into his Charizard. I was actually very close to going for the Moonlight this turn, but I ultimately decided to go for the Moonblast on the off chance that he did switch into Politoed, but he actually ends up switching into his Charizard, and I do a solid 40% amount of damage as he ends up going for the Dragon Dance. This was actually a very good play on his part, just because it does turn out that he is Mega Charizard X, but by going for the Dragon Dance, he's going to be able to live another Moonblast, get up a second Dragon Dance, Mega Evolve this turn, and possibly knock me out with the Flare Blitz. Although the recoil damage will knock himself out, it'll be perfectly fine, but it turns out that he has Fire Punch. As I'm able to live, I'm going to be able to knock out this Charizard, and the fact that Clefable took a +2 Tough Claw's Fire Punch is just extremely impressive in my opinion. Then again, that goes to show you the raw power of Charizard. Although in my opinion, I do like having Flare Blitz over Fire Punch just because of the extra raw power. Either way though, it's not entirely game changing. As he brings in the Hawlucha, I really have no choice but to leave in my Clefable with Death Fodder, as he ends up going for the power of Sky Attack. I am perfectly fine by this just because I do have the Focus Sash on my Alakazam, and in my opinion, Focus Sash Alakazam is a lot better than Mega Alakazam, but it again, to each their own personal preference. So I'm going to be able to live the hit because of my Focus Sash, and I'm going to be able to knock him out with the Psychic, which is really great because Hawlucha possibly could have been a big problem. Although I don't think Hawlucha gets like Rock Slide or Stone Edge, does it? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But he's going to bring the Politoed. I know that his Psychic won't be able to knock him out, but I should be able to get off a solid amount of damage. As I do get off around 35 to 40%, he's going to be able to easily knock me out with the Scald, allowing me to now get a free switch back into my Victini. And this turn, I was so close to going for the Zen Headbutt, predicting his Helios switching, but he actually switches into his Tentacruel as dead fodder on the off chance that I did go for the Zen Headbutt, as I'm able to easily knock out the Tentacruel. My last 2 Pokemon at this point are my Specially Defensive Zapdos and my Mixed Garchomp. And his last 2 Pokemon are his Politoed and his Helios. I didn't count Victini just because it is out on the field right now, so I'm going to leave him with Victini for Death Fodder, as he actually ends up going for the Thunder. Again, I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't have Surf, because this would have been his perfect chance to go for it. So knowing that he is locked into Thunder, I can now switch into my Garchomp, and I can honestly just go for a Draco Meteor, or I can go for an Earthquake. And ultimately, I decided just to go for the safe Earthquake because I don't want to be a -2 and possibly risk the Draco Meteor on the Politoed on the off chance that my Earthquake didn't one-hit KO, which it turns out that it is. So if I did go for Draco and I missed, I would have been able to knock him out with the Earthquake. As he brings in the Helios, it turns out that he does have the Surf, but I'm able to easily live the hit in the rain, and in return, knock him out with the Earthquake, and that is going to be the 2-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, that was actually a really fun battle. Like, when you battle people in real life, it makes things more exciting, and it's just, it was great. It really was great. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like. As I said, guys, if we can get this video up to 400 likes or more, I will definitely make sure to upload 2 videos for you guys tomorrow. So with that being said, if you missed any of my 2 previous uploads before I left, they're playing on your screen right now, so make sure to go check them out. With that, guys, I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully. So later, everybody.